That was Jason Gray with I Am New here on Jackson's Christian radio station. 89.3 The Message. Thanks for tuning in. Kylie Ambu here with you right now. And I saw the craziest thing on CNN News the other day. Lunar Mission 1, which is a British company, is so determined to send a robot to the moon that it's actually asking the public for help. They have kind of a unique fundraiser going on right now where for only $90 you can pay this company to bury your things on the moon when they set off for their mission. Kind of a crazy concept. Stay tuned and we'll be discussing that in a bit. And coming up for you right now is Overwhelmed by Big Daddy Weave. That was Wren Collective with My Lighthouse here on Your Positive Connection. 89.3 The Message. And we're currently talking about how Lunar Mission 1, a space agency, is wanting to send a robot to the moon to drill a deep hole into its surface and how you all out there can apparently help. The British company turned to Kickstarter to raise $1 million in 1 month and to encourage backers to donate. They're offering kind of a unique perk. Donors are going to be able to have a digital memory box included in a time capsule that will be sent to the moon and buried deep underneath its surface for only $90. The thought process behind this is to, instead of getting a small number of entities like space agencies to spend a large amount of money, they're going to increase the amount of donors so that they will have smaller amounts of money to have to spend on that. It's kind of the funding model upside down is what their founder is saying. Of course, the $1 million is not going to be raised just right off the bat, but they're hoping that this idea will kind of grow and reach more people so that more donors will donate. The thought process behind this whole entire mission is they want to solve the problem, where did the moon really come from? And so they think that by kind of digging that hole, they'll be able to answer those questions. It's all just such a crazy concept. What a world that we live in where we can just offer to bury people's things on the moon and even go to the moon in general. It's crazy. But kind of a fun story to start off your morning for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And coming up for you right now is Amazing Grace by Chris Tomlin. That was One Sonic Society with Never Once here on Your Positive Connection. 89.3 The Message. We'll have some more positive hits for you coming up right after this.
Here's your latest 89.3 The Message weather forecast.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying your Monday. I know it's a little dreary, but just hang in there. It's actually supposed to get a little bit rainier throughout the day, so if you don't have an umbrella, make sure to get one fast so you don't get caught up in any nasty showers. Tuesday is actually supposed to snow with a high of 32, low of 25, but the snow should clear up on Wednesday with a high of 34, low of 27. Coming up for you right now is Washed by the Water by Need to Breathe. That was Brandon Heath with Love Does here on Jackson's Christian radio station. 89.3 The Message. And a big announcement right now, this is collection week for Operation Christmas Child. Operation Christmas Child is an organization that sends thousands of shoeboxes full of needed items to children in need all around the world. And today is their collection day for any of those shoeboxes. Those are going to be collected at Bethel Baptist Church in Jackson. And if you haven't already done a shoebox and you might want to make one, you may still have time. Details on how to pack one are online at www.893themessage.com. So definitely get on that. And coming up, we'll have some more great and positive hits for you on the way. That was God of the Impossible by Everfound here on Your Positive Connection. 89.3 The Message. What a great band. I actually saw them once in concert, and it was amazing just to hear them live. They're so talented. I love their music. And speaking of music, it is Monday today, so that means tomorrow is Tuesday, and this week's new music update comes out with Bill Lerwick, so be sure to listen in Tuesday morning at 7:20 a.m. or 5:20 p.m. to get the latest scoop on what's happening in the Christian music scene. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and coming up for you right now is Homesick by Mercy Me. You just heard You Are Joy by War Acres here on Your Positive Connection. 89.3 The Message. Thanks so much for tuning in, and just a friendly reminder that the new music update with Bill Lerwick will be airing today at 5:20 p.m. It's going to be taking a look at the debut from the worship team at First Baptist Dallas, calling themselves Day One Worship. Their album is titled From the Dust. Once again, that's airing at 5:20 p.m. if you're interested. And coming up for you right now is My Choice Is You by Sean Locke. That was The Advice with their hit Made to Be here on Jackson's Christian radio station, 89.3 The Message. And a huge shout out to the SAU women's soccer team who just snagged their 5th consecutive Crossroads League championship. They will now be playing in the NAIA National Tournament's opening round. They're currently ranked number 6 in the NAIA Top 25 poll, and the winner of this opening round will advance to the NAIA National Tournament final site in Orange Beach, Alabama. Hopefully the wins for the Cougars just keep coming. Men's basketball is playing tonight. They are going up against Alma at 7 o'clock p.m., and men's basketball has currently won their first 5 games of the season. Hopefully we can make it 6. Definitely come out and support your team. Thanks so much for tuning in, and coming up for you right now is Bebo Norman with I Will Lift My Eyes. That was One Day by Mark Schultz here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. We'll have some more great and positive hits for you coming up right after this.
Here's your latest 89.3 The Message weather forecast.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying your great but snowy Tuesday. We actually have a winter weather advisory in effect until 9 o'clock p.m. this evening, but just a warning that wind chills are near zero this morning and the roads are known to be a little slippery today, so the Michigan Department of Transportation is reminding motorists to just adjust to speeds based on the conditions and take it nice and slow on the icy roads. Unfortunately, we are going to be seeing some more snow for Wednesday and Thursday of this week, but hopefully we can look forward to Friday as it is supposed to be sunny with a high of 27. Thanks so much for tuning in, and coming up for you right now is Here I Am to Worship by Tim Hughes. Wow, what a great song by J.J. Heller. That was Redemption here on Jackson's Christian radio station, 89.3 The Message. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Kylie Ambu here with you right now. And a mall in Caracas, Venezuela has just made headlines for sporting pregnant teen mannequins dressed in schoolgirl uniforms lined up in the windows of their mall, and it is freaking everyone out. Stay tuned and we'll discuss what's raising eyebrows about this controversial new and bold statement. That was Aaron Schust with No One Higher here on a ministry of Spring Arbor University, 89.3 The Message. And we're currently talking about how a mall in Caracas, Venezuela is sporting pregnant mannequins dressed in schoolgirl uniforms. They're lining them all throughout the windows of the mall. It's actually 2 local charities that are behind this shocking display of mannequins. They're dressed in blue uniforms that children are notorious for wearing in that country until the age of 15. So it is pretty clear that they are teenagers. The goal here is to raise awareness about teen pregnancy, the growing rate of it actually. And there's actually one underage girl getting pregnant every 3 minutes in South America, according to a recent data that was just pulled. While a lot of people are really excited about this new statement, saying that, you know, it's really powerful and it's making people think, a lot of people are not quite so taken with it. They're saying that it's demeaning to teen moms and their children, kind of shaming the moms for their decisions and making the children feel like they're unwanted when really they're a blessing to their parents. So it's definitely taking a controversial turn. I'm honestly wondering if we're going to be seeing any of this happening in the States, because teen pregnancy is such a large issue here as well. So we'll definitely have to keep our eye open for that. Thank you so much for tuning in. And coming up for you right now is Your Great Name by Natalie Grant. You just heard Born Again by Third Day here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and just a reminder that Operation Christmas Child's shoebox collection is taking full swing right now. This is the collection week for that. Operation Christmas Child sends thousands of shoeboxes full of needed items to children in need all around the world each year, and so lately we've been telling you to get prepared to pack a shoebox with you, your friends, or your family, and that the shoebox are going to be locally collected at Bethel Baptist Church in Jackson. Well, the collection is actually happening now through this Friday, November 24th. If you're still wanting to put together a shoebox and haven't yet, feel free to still do that. Details on how to pack one are online at www.893themessage. Coming up for you right now is Hold You Up by Harper Shane. That was Super Chick with This Is the Time here on Jackson's Christian radio station, 89.3 The Message. Kylie Ambu here with you right now, and I just have to say that is a great year to be a Cougar. Just a quick shout out to our SAU Cougar teams. The men and women's cross country team competed in the NCCAA National Championship in Houghton College in New York, and the women's team finished 5th out of 17th, with the men's team finishing 4th out of 19. And Simon Reedsma and Victoria Harper have both qualified for the NAIA National Championships in Kansas, where they will compete this weekend. The boys basketball has just kept the wins coming. They just defeated Alma last night in a huge uproar, and they have yet to be defeated in their first 6 games of the season. But I think probably the biggest thing right now in Cougar athletics is the women's soccer team. They've just won their 5th consecutive Crossroad League championship, and they're now ranked number 6 in the NAIA Top 25 poll. They'll continue on to the NAIA National Tournament opening round, where they will host a game against the AIB School of Business. In terms of ranking, Spring Arbor is thought to have the upper hand in this, but they definitely can't do it without the fan support. So I would definitely suggest to put on your SAU gear and come out and cheer on our Lady Cougars, because they're going to be playing this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. If you're really interested in Cougar athletics and you want some more information, you can definitely find that online at arbor.edu/athletics. Thanks for tuning in, and coming up for right now is Take Everything by Seventh Day Slumber. What a great song by one of my favorite bands. That was Reliant K with their hit Give Until There's Nothing Left to Give here on 89.3 The Message. We'll have some more great and positive hits coming up for you right after this.
Here's your latest 89.3 The Message weather forecast.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope you are all enjoying your Wednesday. I know it is a little chilly out, but just hang in there. Thursday, we're actually supposed to see a little bit of a repeat from what we're seeing today. Has a 90% chance for snow with a high of 23, low of 13, but things are looking up on Friday. It should kind of brighten up a little bit. The sun should be out, only a 10% chance of rain with a high of 25, low of 12. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and coming up for you right now is Wish by Brian Littrell. You just heard Help Me Find It by the Sidewalk Prophets here on a ministry of Spring Arbor University. We're 89.3 The Message. And now I know that with the Ebola crisis and all the talk about the outbreaks and all that jazz, that the Center of Disease Control and Prevention has probably never had a busier time than right now. But it seems that something else has just been added to their plate. The CDC just reported that 172 people on a cruise ship arriving in California this past Sunday have fallen ill with the highly contagious virus due to a nearly month-long trip. So that's definitely raising eyebrows. Stay tuned, and we'll talk about that further on, and we'll have some more great and positive hits for you on the way. That was Citizen Way with their hit Evidence here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. Kylie Ambu here with you right now, and we are currently discussing how the Crown Princess has more than 4,100 people on board and will be met by the CD staff upon arrival in San Pedro soon. The Center for Disease Control has reported that 172 people on this cruise ship that arrived in California on Sunday have fallen ill with a highly contagious virus after nearly a month-long trip. It was a 28-day cruise that visited Hawaii and Tahiti, and as of April, 129 people on the same ship contracted the virus during a 7-day cruise off the California coast. Now, people are saying that the ship went through the same stringent disinfecting process after it docked as it's going through now, but the Princess Cruises has enacted more protocols to develop consultation with the CDC and are doing a deep cleaning of the ship and terminal in the Los Angeles area before departing Sunday night for a week-long cruise through the Mexican Riviera. That's what their spokesperson is telling us. So right now they're thinking that maybe it's just cold and flu season, so the stomach flu is going to be circulating on land, and that guests on the ship will just have to be diligent in practicing frequent hand washing with soap and water and use of hand sanitizer, all that good stuff to kind of prevent more illnesses from happening. But this definitely did raise eyebrows just because of the illnesses flying around in the media at this point. You know, we have Ebola outbreak, we have just all these diseases that are kind of scaring everybody out there. So this was definitely a headline maker. Hopefully everything works out okay with everyone that was affected by this disease and this illness. We definitely send our prayers their way. Thank you so much for tuning in, and coming up for you right now, we have Glory by the Casting Crowns. That was I Need a Savior by Among the Thirsty here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. And for movie fans out there, you can find out what's playing on the big screen on this week's Plugged In Movie Review. It'll be airing this Friday at 7:40 a.m. and 5:40 p.m. Here on The Message, we'll give you a family-friendly review. And if you're interested on finding other reviews on maybe some movies, video games, or other popular television shows, you can do so at www.pluggedin.com. Thanks for tuning in, and coming up for you right now is Don't Deserve You by Plum. You just heard Save My Life by the Sidewalk Prophets here on Jackson's Christian radio station, 89.3 The Message. And if you're looking for some more great and positive hits, be sure to visit our website to get the new Fall Music Sampler download. It is free, and it features songs from Citizen Way, Hawk Nelson, Mercy Me, Phil Wickham, The Afters, and many other great artists such as themselves. The link is available on download online at www.893themessage.com. Coming up for right now is The Rescue by Adam Kappa. What a great song that was, He Said, by Group 1 Crew featuring Chris August here on 89.3 The Message. We'll have some more great and positive hits for you coming up right after this.
Here's your latest 89.3 The Message weather forecast.
Hi folks, I hope you're all enjoying your Thursday. It is a little chilly, but as long as we keep our winter coats on, we should be all right. Winter weather advisory is actually in effect until 7 p.m. this evening, and there are gusty winds that might result in areas of blowing snow and low visibility at times on the road, so the Michigan Department of Transportation is reminding motorists to just adjust the speeds based on the conditions and take it nice and slow on the ice. I know it's been chilly the past couple of days, a lot of snow, but hopefully things are going to look up on Friday. It's supposed to be nice and sunny with a high of 25. Coming up for you right now is I'm Not Who I Was by Brandon Heath. That was That's How You Forgive by Shane and Shane here on a Ministry of Spring Arbor University. We're 89.3 The Message. Thanks for tuning in, and I know that it's winter, so it's kind of the season for the flu and getting sick and all of that not so great stuff, but stay tuned because we have just a few tips and tricks on how to stay healthy during this holiday season. That was Great Are You, Lord by All Sons and Daughters here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. Kylie, Ambu here with you right now, and we're currently discussing just a few tips and tricks on how to stay healthier this season so you can better enjoy that lovely winter weather that we've been having. One is sneeze or cough into your arm or tissue. Whoever taught us to cover our mouths with our hands when we coughed or sneezed definitely got it wrong. It just puts the germs right back into our hands where you can spread them to other objects and other people. Another is to wash your hands and wash them often, and in doing this, be a little more conscientious of what you're doing with your hands afterwards. Studies find that a shockingly large percent of people actually fail to wash their hands after using a public toilet, and that every single one of them touches the door handle on the way out. So after washing your hands, maybe use a towel to turn off the tap, another towel to dry your hands, and then one more to kind of act as a barrier between you and that nasty door handle. The last one is to change your toothbrush every 3 months. You'd think that your toothbrush is getting your teeth nice and clean, and it does, but once you finish brushing, it can kind of be a breeding ground for germs, and most dentists actually recommend that you change your toothbrush every 2 to 3 months. It's also a good idea to replace it after you've had a cold or flu, just to prevent that reinfection. Hopefully these tips were helpful to you, and I hope you stay nice and healthy for this holiday season. Thanks for tuning in, and coming up for you right now is Song of Hope by Robbie Saband. That was Already There by the Casting Crowns here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. Hope you folks are all enjoying your Friday. I know I've been praying for this day to come all week, and since it is Friday, be sure to not miss the Plugged In Movie Review. You can find out what's playing on the big screen today at 5:40 p.m. here on 89.3 The Message. We will give you a family-friendly review. Plus, you can find other reviews on movies, video games, and popular television shows at www.pluggedin.com. Thanks for tuning in, and coming up for you right now is Mandisa with Overcomer. That was Overwhelmed by Big Daddy Weave here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. Kylie Ambu here with you right now, and I know that I've already done my share of SAU sports coverage this week, but I just can't stop bragging about Spring Arbor Athletics. It is seriously just such a great year to be a Cougar, more specifically for the women's soccer team who just won their 5th consecutive Crossroads League championship, and they're now ranked number 6 in the NAIA Top 25 poll. They're actually going to continue on to the NAIA National Tournament opening round, where they're going to host a game this weekend against the AIB School of Business. Now, in terms of ranking, Spring Arbor has the upper hand in this, but we'll definitely have to come out and support to see what can be in this game. They've actually already had just an enormous amount of success, seeing 6 players honored by the Crossroads League. One of them, Courtney Harrison, who is named the Crossroads League Player of the Year, which is just such a huge honor. The winner of this game that they'll be playing this weekend is going to advance on to the NAIA National Tournament final site in Orange Beach, Alabama. So we definitely just wish them the best and luck with that. Quick shout out to them. If you'd like to get other games and schedule details for athletics, you can do so at arbor.edu/athletics. And coming up for you right now is Light the Way by Robert Pierre. That was Hope Will Lead Us On here on Jackson's Christian radio station, 89.3 The Message. We'll have some more positive hits for you coming up right after this.
Here's your latest 89.3 The Message weather forecast.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying this nice Friday weather that we are having today. It kind of beats all the blizzarding that was going on before in the week. However, this might be short-lived because tomorrow is actually supposed to be freezing rain and raining early in the day with rain showers in the afternoon. High winds are going to be coming, so definitely prepare for that. Thanks for tuning in, and coming up for you right now is Motion of Mercy by Francesca Battistelli. That was One Day by Mark Schultz here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. And I know that snow is on the ground, so we're all thinking about Christmas already. Well, time to think about Operation Christmas Child's shoebox collection. Operation Christmas Child is getting into full swing, and each year they send thousands of shoeboxes of needed items to children in need all around the world. So if you'd still like to be a part of this, you can get prepared to pack a shoebox with you and your family. Locally, the shoeboxes are going to be collected at Bethel Baptist Church in Jackson, and the collection is happening through November 24th. If you'd like details on how to pack a shoebox, they are available online at www.893themessage.com. That was Faith to Believe by Shane and Shane here on Your Positive Connection, 89.3 The Message. And if you're like me and just can't get enough of these positive hits, feel free to visit our website to get the Fall Music Sampler download. It features songs from Citizen Way, Hawk Nelson, Mercy Me, Phil Wickham, The Afters, and many more artists. The download link is available online at www.893themessage.com. Thanks, folks, so much for tuning in. And coming up for you right now is Rescue Me by Selah.